Okay, good evening everyone. We are now on the second PowerPoint presentation for our prelim coverage. We are going to discuss the rights and obligations of an agent, principal, as well as we will also discuss guarantee of commission agent. But before that, we would like to thank and to give credit to the researchers, the following: Jenny Kagapi, Patricia Guincalo, Laika Dapar, Kilgisha Faculdad, and Joanna Chris Grabino. Now, as a matter of practice, we will give pre-test or post-test questions. Number 1 question: what are the duties of an agent to the principal? Number 2 question: name the liability of the principal and agent in a contract of agency. And then, what is the main obligation of an agent to the principal? And then, explain the duty of diligence. Number 5 question is that, what is the right of retention of an agent? And then, name the circumstances when the agent is personally liable. Number 7, can an agent acquire by purchasing the property without the consent of the principal? Number 8, define commission agent. Number 9, why is the agent given a guarantee commission? And lastly, can an agent sell on credit without the consent from the principal? Answer the pre-test or post-test question. What are the general duties of an agent to the principal? Answer: the obligation or the duty of an agent to the principal is to obey, to be diligent, and to be loyal, or to have loyalty. Number 2 question: name the liability of the principal and agent in a contract of agency. Answer: if the agent acts with authority and on behalf of the principal, the transaction is valid. Hence, the principal is liable to the third party while the agent is not personally liable unless he binds himself. It's found under Article 1897 of our new Civil Code. Number 3 question: what is the main obligation of an agent to the principal? 1. Loyalty. The agent has a duty to act solely for the benefit of his or her principal and not on the interest of the agent or a third party. Moreover, any information or knowledge obtained in the course of the agency is confidential. The agent cannot profit individually without the permission from the principal. Explain the duty of diligence. The agent is bound by his acceptance to carry out the agency and is liable for the damages which, through his non-performance, the principal may suffer. What is the right of retention of an agent? The agent may retain in pledge the things which are the object of the agency until the principal effects of the reimbursement and pays the indemnity for the advances made by the agent. Name the circumstances when agent is personally liable. Answer: an agent is not generally liable for all the contracts made. The principal is liable, but the agent will be liable if he is undisclosed or partially disclosed, if the agent lacks authority or exceeds it, or, of course, if the agent entered into the contract in a personal capacity. Question number 7. Can an agent acquire by purchasing the property without the consent of the principal? The answer is no. The agent cannot acquire by purchasing the property whose administration sale may be entrusted to him unless the consent of the principal has been given. Define commission agent. The commission agent is one who is engaged in the business of receiving, handling, and selling goods for commission, whether in his own name or in that of another. Question number 9. Why is the agent given a guarantee commission? It is given so that he can bear the risk of collection and pay the proceeds of the sale. Last question. Can an agent sell on credit without the consent from the principal? The answer is no. The commission agent cannot sell on credit without the consent of the principal and need to inform because otherwise the principal can deem it. Now let us discuss further. Let us talk about the rights and obligations of an agent. What are those? 1. The agent must faithfully and diligently exercise his authority and must not commit any act or acts of disloyalty against the principal. Now, what are the general duties of an agent? 1. The duty of obedience. The agent must respect the limitations imposed by law and the agreement between the parties. Scope of authority. The agent must act within the scope of his authority. 1. Conducive acts, control, advantageous performance. Let us proceed to duty to be loyal. The agent is expected to be loyal the agent must be expected to be loyal to his principal. The relationship between the agent and his or her principal is a fiduciary in character, which is based on trust and confidence. Now, conflict of interest. The agent shall be liable for damages if there being a conflict of interest between his and that of the principal. And when such conflict arises, he prefers his own, he shall suffer damages. He will be liable for damages. These are another obligations involving loyalty. Agency to lend or to borrow. Agency to sell. Agency duty to account. Liability for appropriating the principal's property. He is liable for appropriating principal's property. He also has the duty to account, sell, in the agency to sell if that is his nature of agency. We have also the agency to lend or to borrow. That is the relation. And then substitute. The agent may substitute or may appoint substitute or a sub-agent if the principal has not prohibited him from doing so. But if it is not, he is not allowed, if it is not being said or expressed, then he cannot be allowed to do substitute. The agent and the substitute shall be responsible for the acts of the substitute. He is liable. For example, when the agent hires a substitute, the agent shall be liable. Now, right of retention agent. The agent shall have the right to retain in pledge the things which are the object of the agency until the principal reimburses him for the amount necessary for the execution of the agency in which he has advanced, even if the business or undertaking was not successful, provided the agent is free from all fault. What else? The principal shall pay him indemnity for damages when the execution of the agency may have caused the agent without fault or negligence on his part. The principal also may pay damages to the agent. And then, the right of the retention of the agent is in the nature of pledge. Now, let us talk about obligations of the principal. What are the obligations of the principal? The principal must comply with all the obligations which the agent may have contracted within the scope of his authority. What else? The principal must comply with all the obligations which the agent may have contracted not within the scope of his authority, but he ratified later on. He agreed later on. Then he has the duty to comply. The principal also comply with all the obligation which the agent may have contracted, not within the scope of his authority, but the principal allowed that agent acts. He had a full powers. Now, the principal also had the duty or the pay or reimburse the advances of the agent which is necessary for the execution of the agency without the fault of the agent. What else? The principal indemnifies the agent for all the damages that the execution of the agency may have caused the latter, provided that there is no fault on the part of the or negligence of the agent. Now, the principal is not liable for expenses incurred by the agent. There are instances like this. What are those? 1. When the agent acted in contravention of the principal's instruction, unless the latter should wish to avail himself of the benefits derived from the contract. What else? When the expenses were due to the fault of the agent. And then when the agent incurred them with the knowledge that an unfavorable result would ensure if the principal was not aware thereof. And then, when it was stipulated that the expenses would be borne by the agent or that the latter would allow only a certain sum. That can be found in Article 191A. Now, two principals are solidarily liable. When two or more persons have appointed an agent for a common transaction or undertaking, they shall be solidarily liable for all the consequences of the agency. Where can we find that? In Article 1913. Now, guarantee of commission agent. A commission agent is one who is engaged in the business of receiving, handling, and selling of goods for commission, whether in his own name or that of another. He is also known as factor. Sales on credit. The commission agent cannot sell on credit without the consent of the principal, whether express or implied. If he was authorized to sell on credit, he should inform the principal of such a sale on credit, otherwise the principal can deem it as a cash sale. What about a guarantee commission? This is a commission that is given in addition to the ordinary commission. The guarantee commission is given so that he can bear the risk of collection and pay the principal the proceeds of the sale on the same terms agreed upon with the purchaser. Now, our references is Timoteo Aquino, Review on Civil Law, First Edition, and Fidelito Soriano, Notes on Business Law, 2016 edition. So, thank you for listening.